Kicking up dust on a rick house floor. Charred oak whispers we can't ignore. Stories in the mash, fire in the grain. Raise up your glass, feel that bourbon flame. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. From Kentucky hills to the neon lights, we're talking small batch days and whiskey nights. Tasting the past in every pour. Gonna carve our names on the distiller's door. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. Raise 'em high, feel the fire. Clinking glasses, lifting higher. One more toast to the ones before and the legends we're making forevermore. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the rick house walls to your front row. Every drop a story, every sip a crown. We're bourbon legends, come gather round. Come gather round. Come gather round.
Thursday Night Live with the Bourbon Legends. Well, anyway, I mean, we'll drink rice whiskey, we'll drink rye, we'll drink beer. I mean, maybe it should have been Thursday Night Live with alcohol. Anyway, I hope everybody out there is doing well tonight. I hope you have a pour. I hope wherever you are, it's cool. Because for most of the South, man, I tell you what, I got to change my ways because I feel like I might be, I don't know, like maybe if I don't start going to church more, I might be feeling those flames more. Or maybe if I go to church and be like really hot and the church catches on fire, like burnt church. Have you guys ever been to a burnt church? I don't know. If you haven't, I got a place that you can go in South Carolina that's burnt church, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right, Roger?
Definitely, sir. And let me just say this. I'm pretty sure you're safe. You don't, you've got, being Santa, you might not have to worry about it being the flames or any of those type things coming up and getting you.
I don't know. It just depends. You never know what's going to happen.
And about this time, we'd normally be welcoming on our brethren, our co-host. But unfortunately, Mr. Chillwell Rocco, Will Pumphrey, is a little under the weather tonight due to his treatments.
Well, that's why we've got that blue ribbon up there in the corner.
Yeah.
We're still supporting him, even if he's not here. He's still a part of the show and is here, right?
He definitely is.
And maybe he'll be in the comment section. You never know.
I think he is. He is. There he is. He's hanging out in the chat room.
Is he down there? Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's going on, Roger, besides the heat? That's kind of the big story here in Arkansas is the heat.
Well, this week it's been all about family for me because I went to a wedding last weekend where my niece got married, and they were happy as all get up. And then also today was a very important day for me and my wife and my daughter. We call it Family Day. So basically, 25 years ago, the adoption for our daughter became final on this date, and so we always celebrate it and have little special meals and stuff like that. So this weekend
Cool.
we're going to do a couple of different things and
Nice.
celebrate Family Day.
Today it was just spaghetti and meatball day. That's what I had for dinner before the show. I know, kind of boring, kind of boring.
That's okay. That's
You
okay.
know what though? There's some things coming up that Roger is not going to be boring,
No,
and one of them is going to be the interview here earlier or later. But there's going to be some.
are we
Is it, hunt,
are we going
is it,
turkey hunting?
is it hunting season?
Hunting
It will.
season?
It will be. It will be September 1st because that toasted turkey 2 is going to take off. It's going to fly.
If you didn't get
So,
toasted turkey one, you do not know what you're missing.
well, I can tell you, toasted turkey 2 just takes it a little step further.
Uh-oh.
I want, I don't strong right.
You're freezing up just a little bit.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I rebooted. Everything should be good. Kid must be in there playing 2 video games instead of 1.
Yeah.
Here's what I want people to do, though. Okay, if you're interested in this toasted turkey 2, you need to go to thebourbonlegends.com and scroll down just one little scroll, and there'll be a little brochure there that you can fill out your information and you can get your name in the hat to maybe get to go on this special turkey hunt. Just saying. I think that's what you should do. Toasted turkey 2. Why did it not leave the screen, Roger? There it goes.
There it goes.
Anyway, technical difficulties. They never seem to not show up on the show. So let's hope that when we bring Peter on from Burnt Church, we don't have any technical issues. Peter, are you there? Come in.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Yeah, Peter Thompson. He's here from Burnt Church. How'd you like that little segue when I was talking about maybe so hot that I could feel the flames of hell on my toes? I needed to go to a burnt church, and then I'm like, hold on. How did this church burn? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's old historical history lesson. Kind of everything that Burnt Church is all based on the history of Bluffton, South Carolina, and the Low Country that we're down here. So
Now, when they say low country, I'm from Arkansas, so we're pretty low. But is low country mean like down like in the swamp areas or whatever? I mean, I've heard of a low country boil, but I've never experienced one. What exactly is the low country?
So the Low Country goes from Charleston, South Carolina, down the coast all the way here to Bluffton. So from Charleston all the way to the Savannah River, probably about 15 to 20 miles, 30 miles off the coast, and that is considered the Low Country of South Carolina. Bunch of swamps, rivers, all that kind of wetlands all through here. It's the Low Country.
Okay, so it adds a little bit of humidity there to your rick houses.
A lot of humidity here. I think it was about 110 is what it was supposed to feel like today here.
You know, seriously, here in Arkansas, it is going to creep up towards the weekend. We were talking about this behind the stage. It's going to be up 105, 106. But thank God the humidity isn't super high here right now. I mean, it's high, but it's not like you walk outside and it takes your breath away high, and that's mainly because we're in a drought as well. So it's so dry here, no humidity for that's why we're getting these temperatures that are up in excess of 100 because it's just usually it's 95 and it feels like it's 115. So we're kind of experiencing what they experience out west with higher numbers but lower humidity levels. It's not overbearingly hot. It's especially when you're sitting in the air conditioner like I am right now.
I call it a dry heat.
A dry heat.
It's
Yeah.
a dry heat. Because, I mean, normally you get out here, we have a 100+ degree day here in Arkansas. You just walk outside and there's sweat as soon as you walk out the door. And I honestly, the last couple of days, it's just warm. It had a little breeze going, but I'll take the warm and you can keep the humidity.
The thing is, the local weather people are saying that this might be a record breaker for days over 100. 1980, there were 18 days in Little Rock that were over 100. And I believe we're already up to 10 right now. So,
What's
and
it
the
been like
forecast
Well,
looks like that.
well, we got hot during the day and humid because it keeps raining here at night. So we're still up in the 90, 95% humidity with 100-degree temperatures. So good thing we have the beach so close. We can go cool off for a little bit.
You change clothes like 3 times a day.
Yeah, especially if I'm out in the rick house.
Yeah, it's a 3-shirt day. What is the temperature normally in the rick house? Do you guys keep tabs on that?
Super hot during the summer and cold during the winter. I don't
You
keep
get
tabs on it, so
you get enough cold down there to get things pushing in and pulling out.
yes, sir. So during the winter time, that rick house will probably stay around 40 degrees. And once we start heating up around here, getting into the 80s, it'll take that our rick house about a month or so to get fully up to temperature with what it is outside.
Right. So I have a thermostat or a thermometer in the rick house. So I'm just going to go give you I'm going to give you some real time weather app here. Never done this on TV, right? I mean, on this show. So today it got to be 103.1 here at my house. It's currently 91, and in the Rick house, it is 99 point. I don't know if y'all can see that. 99. Where'd it go? 99.7 in the Rick house.
I don't
So,
think we get that hot. We have so much alcohol stacked up in our rick house that it kind of keeps everything insulated. So I was working in
right.
there today. It wasn't that bad. I would put it probably somewhere in the high 80s.
That's still hot though when you're working, right?
Excuse me.
That's still hot when you're working. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
Still
when
hot
you're
when
after
you're
work.
working.
yeah, that's hot. Yeah, for sure, that's
Yeah.
hot. But born and
Well,
raised here in North
Here,
Carolina, so I'm used to it.
so you're kind of used to it. I get that. Tell us what got you into distilling in the first place. What eventually led you to Burnt Church?
So when I was in college, I figured out I could make everything in my apartment that I needed to make alcohol. So I started with,
Hold on. Can I pause for a minute?
yes, sir.
I think every master distiller has started in their house. I've even heard stories about people using their bathtub for the chiller. I don't know what. I guess it's just a common trait.
Yeah,
Anyway, go on, go on.
yeah. So at 19, I started making beer, wine, and liquor in my apartment at Clemson University, and fell in love with it. Went to Colorado and learned how to brew professionally, and then came back, finished my degree. And while I was finishing my degree, I got a job in Greenville, South Carolina, for a small craft distillery up there. So I was making liquor full time and going to school full time, and just kind of took off from there. I've been a little bit everywhere and ended up down here at Burnt Church about 2020, so almost 6 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah, it's nice to experiment and kind of dip your toes in the water and kind of know what you're doing before you actually start doing it, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. All that
You're
all that practice helped a lot.
Peter was the most popular man on campus, Roger. Roger, you're muted there, buddy. Can't hear you.
I said at Clemson, that would definitely be the case. You got a lot of drinking that goes on down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. We like to have a good time there here in South Carolina, especially in the upstate and Clemson and all that. Good football team always makes it even more fun.
So the question comes back that we talked about a little bit, but so Burnt Church, how did it get its name? You mentioned it goes back to the thing, but
Yeah, so we have a road here in Bluffton called Burnt Church Road, and we have two brothers that started the distillery, and they were trying to figure out what they were going to name it, and they were driving back and forth from their office in Bluffton to Hilton Head Island, and they saw the road and were like, "What is this? What does that mean? What does Burnt Church Road mean? That's just an odd name." He tried to Google it, and surprisingly, nothing came up on Google. And so he just got stuck on Burnt Church Road. Ended up hiring some local historians, and they spent 2 years figuring out all the history behind it. And at that point, he was like, "I'm calling the distillery Burnt Church." So it ended up being a missionary church down at the end of this road back after the revolution, but before the Civil War, if I remember correctly, and it burnt down for some reason. So all the locals just knew it as Burnt Church Road.
Huh.
yeah, you've got a
That's
beautiful facility there. I mean, that was one of the things we were pointing out before is the the outside of the structure is just amazing. Anybody gets a chance to go down there and visit, it's a beautiful distillery and everything else you got, and you also have a sports bar in it, which I thought
Yes,
was a kind of a unique thing. Which
yes, sir. Off to the side. So it's kind of split up into three buildings. We have the main building where we have um, it's where all of the customers are going to go. It's where the tasting room is, the bottle wall, all of our merchandise. The second building is the production facility. Um, and the rick house, that's where we're making everything, we're aging everything, bottling everything. And then off to the side for a little bit more relaxed atmosphere and to get just kind of cool environment, we decided to put in a little sports bar over there. So it's kind of all in one.
beautiful architecture, a lot of things that are talking about, uh, that are church related. You even have stained glass. I saw in one of the pictures.
Yes,
But
sir.
one of the most unique things about this place, and I don't know if it has anything Roger and Peter to do with the church or not, but look at this P wall. You see that? I don't know if you guys can see that on camera good enough, but like I think you can take a leak and wash your hands at the same time.
yeah, anytime if you Google Burnt Church Distillery, this shows up just about everybody's pictures. It's kind of funny, and we're just childish enough. We're going to show it too, you know.
That's right. Well, I mean, everybody, that's something that everybody has to do, but I would be willing to bet that not many people have ever done it in a facility that looked like that.
No, probably not.
Peeing
Probably.
in the, I mean, I've been to bars in New Orleans where you pee in a trough. They have just, bags of ice, and you pee on the ice to keep of course, that's New Orleans, but I guess it's kind of like in South Carolina, a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
So that ice kind of helps, with the smell, but didn't help with the rest of the city. The rest of the city still smells. So, can you walk us through and kind of tell us about some of these bottles that we have that we're sampling tonight? I'm starting out myself. I don't know what Rogers. I started out with the Neatest Choice.
Yep.
That's a 6 grain bourbon, right? Well, I don't guess you can call it a bourbon. So you've got bourbon whiskey. Is the mash bill high enough to call that a true bourbon
Yes,
on the
sir.
corn?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. So that, like we were talking about earlier, I have too many recipes, so I can't remember the percentages off the top of my head. But
Well, I can help. I actually have it pulled up. 55 corn,
here
13
you go.
wheat, 12 barley, 10 Carolina Gold rice,
Yes, sir.
5 rye, and 5 malted. I mean, I'm sorry, 5 rye and 5 oats.
Yep.
5% oat.
Yep. So we got the all those in there. Everything we do is locally sourced. So we use one or two farms. We're either using the Weathers Farm. They're out of St. George. They also have a malt house on site, so they malt all the grain that we need malted. And then we also use an heirloom farm out of Edisto, South Carolina, called Marchand Mill. So they don't actually grow anything there anymore, but they contract a bunch of different farmers in the low country to grow all the grain for them that are all heirloom, and then they bring it back to the facility and process it out from there. So we
Now,
use those too.
when you say heirloom, can you tell us exactly what corn variety that is, or is that like
So
a proprietary secret?
So for this one, we don't use any heirloom. For the Anita's Choice, there's no
Okay.
heirloom corn. That's just your standard yellow corn. The
Yellow
only
Dan?
heirloom grain that's going to be in there is the Carolina Gold Rice. And the people at Marchand are become really good friends, and they're on the forefront of trying to keep that grain from going extinct and trying to get more people to grow it, eat it, and consume it.
Hmm.
It's a beautiful grain, but it's just it's been difficult with the weather going across the country, and a lot of people have lost their seed. So they're doing everything they can to keep that grain alive.
Is
Uh,
it
uh,
being an heirloom? Is it just harder to grow
Yeah,
than
you
than?
have to get everything certified, and everything has to be done a certain way to be able to keep it in the heirloom varietal. Yeah, so they're very strict on how they do things and what they do, and when it comes to all the farming practices.
Hmm.
But Anita's Choice, once again, goes back to the history of the Low Country. It's named for a woman out of Charleston, South Carolina, named Anita Pulitzer. She was Charleston native that moved to New York and pursued a law degree. And then once she got done with that, she decided she was going to work and help with the women's rights movement, the women's suffrage movement. And she's one of the ladies that is given the honor of getting that passed through and getting the 19th Amendment done. So we wanted to honor her and name that
Hmm.
after her.
It's a nice bourbon. It's only a 4 year, right?
Right now, yes, sir. It's coming in right around 4 years, maybe a little bit over. We're only a 5-year-old company, so unfortunately, it takes a long time to get these things up in age. But we have plenty of it in barrels right now. So as we keep growing and getting older, the whiskey just keeps getting older with it. So I'll eventually hit 5 next year and 6 the following year, and then
Right.
it might plateau out somewhere once I feel like it's hit its peak. And then we might do some older stuff and some other things with it.
On something like that. So I'm assuming that you guys didn't source anything.
So at the beginning we kind of did. So
Okay.
before we opened up the doors, we had Jephthah Creed out of Kentucky make our original batches for us. So we had whiskey to sell day one. And once I finished building the facility, we started making everything there on site. So everything we've got coming out into our bottles now is all of our own products.
Okay. Good.
uh,
You know, I know a lot of distilleries start out, and they contract distill. A lot of them start out. Did you guys start out with like vodka and gin and things like that you could produce right off the bat, or did y'all?
Yes,
Are you mainly okay?
yes, sir. We do. Not only do we do whiskey, we have vodka, gin, and some liqueurs.
Sounds
yeah, I
good.
saw on the list. There's some. They do a bourbon cream. They've got a vodka. They've got a couple of different gins that I saw. Um, Everybody's got to have a cinnamon whiskey. I mean, you got to have that. I mean,
Yes, sir.
that's what you have to have.
Yes,
Yeah, Christmas is coming. You have to have that.
Yeah,
mix it with that bourbon cream, and it tastes even better.
yeah. I
I
tell you
love.
what,
Go ahead, Raj.
I my thing is I can pick up that rice component on there on the back end. I can taste that rice a little bit. See,
Yeah,
we're a big rice state here in Arkansas. I mean, it's
Arkansas is the number one rice producer in the country.
yeah.
yeah.
Rice. Actually, my friends at Martian do a lot of business, and they work with a lot of farms out in Arkansas to try and keep the Carolina Gold rice going out there as well.
Well,
I was
speaking of the
wondering. I was going to
Carolina
ask that.
Gold
Is it
rice, that's what I'm having right now. I just did a fresh pour of the rice.
the Bluffton?
Yes,
Bluffton whiskey.
Bluffton.
That
Yeah,
is
because we
that's been my favorite since we opened the doors. It's 80% Carolina Gold. It's 10% wheat, 10% malted barley. brand new white American oak barrel. So it gives
Good.
you everything what people like from that new oak barrel and bourbon, but then it's also just got a lighter body, a lighter flavor profile.
Yeah, you can definitely pick up that barrel on there, which I love. I love a toasted barrel or a new char barrel. A lot of people. My wife is one that she kind of gets turned off on the oak flavor, and I'm like, well, you're supposed to like
Well,
the
she
oak.
likes a
That's
little bit
that's the
lighter
part
proof,
of it.
lighter balance to it. But
She's kind of liking those THC drinks right now. She's a big fan of Willie Nelson apparently right now. Uh, but no, so this is honestly the Bluffton is really only the second rice whiskey I've ever had, other than JT Mellick. We had JT Mellick on last or earlier this year in January, and they do
All rice.
all rice is all they do is down there in Louisiana. But who would have thought rice, right? I mean, like rice for whiskey. I mean, I know they use rice in beer, but I guess if you can distill it, if it'll ferment and you can distill it, you can make anything.
Yeah, it makes a great flavor profile, and it's a unique grain, and we're always trying to look to do something different and stand out a little bit. So, Carolina being Carolina Gold Rice and being known for it for so long, we felt like we just had to use it.
now,
It's
is this
good.
a distillery only product?
No, sir. This is everywhere. So
So
we were
you
talking
distribute.
earlier. Yeah, so you can get that product in Kentucky. You can get that product in Tennessee. Pretty much every state we're distributed in right now, that you can get that. Or we do everything online too. So if you want it online, you just go to the website and you can purchase it off there.
We got
Uh,
people that
Will
got some of
Will is
our.
our co-host. He put this up in our chat earlier that he has some interesting. I've seen some interesting information about that Carolina Gold Rice. You want to elaborate on that, Will? I'm
Because
following the.
I know he's put the website out. Few people have put the website out there on your Facebook page, and I would recommend everybody go to that because one, the first bit you can see the beautiful facility. It's just that's part of it. But then again, there's a lot of information on the website, which is what I really like that because some websites are about 3 spots and that's about it. This has got a lot of information, breaks down a lot of the products, has a lot of beautiful pictures. So whoever your media
What?
person is, give them an A+.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. What you know, obviously by just these two bottles that I've tried from, the 6 grain and then this rice whiskey. Uh, I'm assuming that you like to experiment a lot with grains, heirloom variety grains, and this and that. What you have any like some secrets that you got hidden back there that you want to talk about things that you may be working with or experimenting with, as far
Yeah,
as corn varieties go, or anything really?
yeah. So first thing that we have going that's actually going to come out probably in the next 6 to 8 months, and we'll probably slowly release all three of them. We're doing the Anita's Choice. We're finishing that off in a port barrel. So that will come soon. We did the rye whiskey, which is the Palmer Stretch, in a Cab Franc barrel. Um, and then I've gotten big into the single malts. And so I've actually made 3 different single malts while I've been at this distillery. The original, just all barley American single malt is out on the shelves right now at the distillery, and I'm pretty sure you can get that online as well. I made a single malt from Triticale, which is a rye wheat hybrid. So that one's going to come out later this year, but then I also finished that one off in a Rouzon barrel. So French wine grape. It's absolutely beautiful, very aromatic. Used Jimmy Red Corn, finished that off with some Triticale, so we'll have that bourbon come out next year. Went down a weeded path with some Guinea Flint corn. Made a single malt out of an heirloom pink corn called Unicorn. So I've stepped outside of the box a little
You
bit to try
sure
some flavors.
you sure have because you're naming off some of those corns I've never even heard of.
Yeah, yeah, it's perks of being here in South Carolina, knowing the Marchand guys. They have a lot of cool stuff, and I'm fortunate that I can play with it.
Now I'm throwing this one out way out from left field because I have experimented with red corn, Jimmy Red. I've actually experimented growing with it, and the damn coons and the squirrels love it. Couldn't make much out of it when you only have about 10 gallons of corn grain left over after they got through with it. But where the hell was I going with this, Roger? I was
What
going
I
somewhere,
think
and
I think you're going to talk about what are the unique, distinct differences with Jimmy Red Corn. I think that was the thing.
well, yeah, like when you're using an heirloom variety, it obviously, I would think for the most parts, has less starch in it. Uh, so you're going to not get as much alcohol per pound. Would I be correct in saying that, or am I
Uh,
totally wrong on that?
Everything I've gotten the same yield, if not better, than what I use for
Really?
yellow corn. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's definitely more expensive because it doesn't grow as well as the yellow corn. So the yellow corn that everybody's using in the industry, if they're no irrigation, anything like that, they're probably looking at about 190 to 200 bushels per acre. Whereas the red corn or the Guinea flint might only grow about 50 to 75 per acre. So
Okay.
it just really hikes up the price on the corn. But as far as the sugar content, the flavor profile, you're right
You're
there with everything
that
else.
that's good to know considering, what I told you about I was doing this weekend. So
Yeah.
that's good that I'm going to get my most bang for my buck. Uh, what I actually was going to say, it came to me while we were talking there. Jimmy Red. So Jimmy Red was, I believe, originally out of South Carolina, right? And it pretty much died out, and
Yes,
then
sir.
a couple of farmers brought it back.
So that was it was a moonshiner's corn out of Charleston, Guatemala Island, and my friends over at Marsh and Mills are the ones that brought it back. The main guy
Oh,
there is his name's Greg Johnsman, and he does a very, very good job with heirloom grains. But he had one ear, and a guy that sat behind him in church had one ear, and a chef in Charleston had one ear. And he convinced the other two guys to give him their ears, and he grew it out from there and brought it back from the dead. So we
wow.
actually we released a white dog, a new make of the Jimmy Red bourbon that we're going to do. So and to honor him and what everything he did with that grain, because they do cornbread mix and cornmeal and grits and all that stuff. We allowed him to name it, and he named it Cornbread Red.
Well,
So it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome.
I love working with Jimmy Red. That oil, that corn oil that just kind of like floats on the top when you're fermenting it.
Yeah.
You don't really see that out of a yellow dent number 2 corn.
No, sir.
Sometimes you can see a little bit, but it on that Jimmy Red, it is very distinctive. Have you ever fooled around with anything? That whoa, that didn't sound good at all. I was going to say,
Yeah. Wait,
have you
wait,
ever
wait.
fooled around with Amanda Palmer? Anyway, now, have you ever worked with Amanda Palmer? Corn?
No, sir. I have not.
Okay, I didn't know. I mean, like I said, I've never heard of the Guinea Flint, which I'm guessing, is it a red corn or is it a blue corn? I don't.
Guinea Flint is a yellow corn.
Okay.
It can be traced to coming out of Cuba in the 1500s, and it grows really strange. It actually grows in little bushels instead of lines like normal corn will, and it grows really small. So the ears are probably only about 3 to 4 inches in length, and the corn
Wow.
kernels itself just look like little popcorn kernels. They're really, really
Huh.
small, but they're super, super oily. It puts everything else to shame when you're talking about done fermentation and oil sitting on top.
Huh.
So that with the wheat that we did, it should be a very interesting one when it comes out.
Now, when are we talking about that being released?
Well, let's see. I made that. It's just now hitting 4 years old and 53-gallon barrels. So some of these things I'm letting get up in age before we release them that I made personally.
I'd like to try that. That sounds very interesting. Like I said, I've never heard of Guinea Flint corn. So
I think we'll
you
have to
don't
go down to
remember the
South
mash
Carolina.
bill? You don't remember the mash bill is with that, do you? Is it like a Is it primarily the corn, or is it more of a corn base, or is it got more wheat in it?
The wheat was in the mid 20s. I had a little bit of barley in there, and then the rest was corn. So it was
Okay.
probably about 68 or 65% corn. Um, But once again, like I said, you can get all this stuff from Martian. So if you really want to try it and see what it tastes like itself, you can go on their website. You can buy everything that I'm using to make whiskey with, and you can eat it. You can eat it as grits. You can eat it as cornbread. You can eat all that kind of stuff, which is really cool because we get to sell that stuff in our retail shop. So if somebody really likes something they had with the whiskey side of it, then they could take it home and also cook with it and have both of it, both of them different ways.
Hold on a
That's
second.
neat.
So you're saying you can go to your distillery and I can get grits and the mix for a cornbread and I can
Yep.
get bourbon.
Yep.
Craig, what are we doing this weekend? Come on, let's go.
I'm going to Kansas City. That's the
Oh,
totally wrong direction. Sorry.
yeah, I was in North Carolina. I was up in Asheville last weekend. I couldn't.
You would have been a lot closer last weekend, Roger.
Yeah, I'd have been a
Getting
lot
over
closer,
there.
but I might have gotten in a little trouble if I'd have taken off and headed
Look,
that way instead of going to the wedding.
our buddy Will is even putting in the links to the corn.
Nice.
Thanks, Will. Thanks for doing that. I have to remember to. I may have to experiment with that. Although I'm about broke this year on. So see, Peter, I started putting up 53-gallon barrels this year, but probably what takes you a mere matter of minutes to make that, it takes me days and days and days
Oh, I
to get
remember those
that
days. That's how
volume. You know,
I started. Little 100-gallon pot still working in Greenville. It took me a long time to get a barrel ready
right?
whiskey.
And
What's
then
your current
you
still?
don't want to waste one drop. You know, it's like
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
this. You don't want to waste it. So like you're pouring it in there. Of course, I pump it into the upstairs here, and it just pained me the last time I did it. My wife turned the pump on, and I didn't have it right in the bunghole, and it just started squirting everywhere. And I was like, "Oh man, I just lost." I lost 2 hours worth of work right there.
yeah, yeah. I've been there. I've been there. Done that.
so what's your current still look like? You get
So we have kind of a miniature setup of what everybody's running in Kentucky. We have a Vendome column still, but we're only running a 14-inch column. Small doubler. It all comes on a skid, so it's all one unit. So it picks up and moves all as one unit. Um, right now, we run 1,500 gallons per run, and it takes me about 4.5 hours to run 15 gallons through there. So it's a lot quicker than what I was doing, but it's definitely not the fastest thing in the world. But she looks good and she runs good, so can't complain.
That's
and
all that
getting the
matters,
other
right?
geeky thing out of it is fermentation time. What's your average fermentation time? 3 to 7 days, something like that.
We're anywhere from 48 hours to 7 days, just depending on what we're
Ooh.
making. Yeah. Coming
Oh,
from the beer background and learning all that stuff, and I still do a lot of beer stuff because I have a friend that's he's a master brewer. So fermentation's always been a big one for me and how to make it as efficient as possible. So I'm still deep diving in fermentation all the time to make sure ours is on the forefront.
That's so that our guest last week, we were talking about fermentation, and I'm like, most of the time you just talk about when you're talking shop like this, we just talk about distillery stuff. Like, what kind of still do you have, and blah blah blah. But really, the key to making good whiskey is making good beer.
Yep. It's
You know,
exactly it. It's
if you
exactly
have
it.
if you have bad beer, no matter how many times you run it, you're still gonna have bad whiskey. You know.
Exactly. Yep. You got to know how to make it all work in that fermentation side, extracting the sugars out properly, not not losing any, making sure that you have the right amount of yeast in there and that everything works properly. You don't get any bacteria in there. Because trust me, I've had that happen a few times, and that was nasty.
You
But
got bacteria in the mash.
Yeah, well, long time ago when I was doing it old school way, I got bacteria in the mash. It ended up tasting like wet hay and a 14 old day cheeseburger, if you can imagine that smell.
Mm.
So it was
Guess
That's
I guess I'm lucky. I've never had any. Now I have had one batch. I had some uh,
okay.
lacto fermentation on the back end, and of course I can't tell you what it tastes like because it's still aging. But that's always supposed to be good.
Yeah,
I've heard, so
yeah. I've done some lacto beers, making sour beers back in my brewing days when I was in college. I did some wild yeast fermentations and stuff like that, and that turns out pretty well. And if you get some strain that's just floating around in the air, and you get too much in there, and things weren't cleaned beforehand, it turns bad pretty quick.
you know
so.
we
What are
don't
the
we don't
barrels?
like bad
Getting it
liquor.
going full circle, but what are the barrels you guys utilize the most?
So as far as like who's making them, or
Yeah, who's making them? Is it
so currently we get all of our barrels from Zach Cooperage out of Kentucky.
okay?
We were using a Cooperage here in South Carolina, um, but a tornado went through their building, so they haven't opened back up in 2.5 years.
Yeah, I
Yeah, hard
understand that.
hard to make barrels out of toothpicks.
Splinters. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So when they went down, we've kind of jumped around, but right now we're with Zach Cooperage is who we've been using lately.
Getting into a distiller's head, and while we're doing that, I'm actually also I'm gonna try the rye. So when you're working on a bourbon or a rye or even a single malt, what is it that you're looking at from the very beginning? So, like, say you're going to sit down, you're going to make a mash bill. Are you looking at what's going to taste the best, what's going to age the best, what you know, proof? I mean, you have this all mapped out, and then you just experiment with it, or what's your process?
So my process is knowing what each individual grain tastes like. So I've done individual distillations of just wheat, just corn, just rye, just this, just that, because I want to know what it tastes like when it's come through the still and what kind of flavor profiles it's going to give me. Based on all those notes that I've taken down, I can kind of then pair flavors together and work them off of each other. So when I'm doing an heirloom corn, I'll get some 100 pounds of corn, make a really small batch just so I can get the flavor profile, and then look what I want to fill it with on the back end to kind of complement that flavor. The rest of it all comes down to the distillation process. If I want it more oily, a little bit more dry, all that kind of stuff. But everything I'm looking for is trying to create a unique flavor profile from the grain that I have. And I'm
And then
deciding.
you just kind of, once you get that flavor, then you can decide whether you want it to be, what proof.
Yeah, the proof, I don't even think about that until the barrel's about to be, I'm tasting it and I'm like, all right, this is ready to go. And then I go through a whole process of, if I'm doing one barrel, then I'll try just one. If I'm doing a blend, then I'll try 20 and I'll figure out which 20 work best together. And then from there, it's breaking it down. All right, barrel strength wasn't very good on this. And then I'll break it down to maybe 3 or 4 proofs and I'll try it at 3 or 4 proofs and kind of walk it into where I get the best aromatics, the best flavor profile, the best oil content, everything from start to finish. And then that's how I end up at my final proof.
Hmm. I've always told people, distilling's pretty easy. It's just separating alcohol from water.
Yeah.
But
I wish it was that easy.
it's a little more complex, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Every morning I go in, I sit down with about 4 or 5 different samples and I start trying on the day, kind of start piecing things together. Because, I mean, not only are we doing the bourbons, but we also have agave releases. So I'm constantly trying those as well and trying to get through other products than whiskey. So it's constantly flip flopping back and forth to make sure everything's correct and on the right path and right proof and this, that, and the other thing. So.
Roger, do you
Yeah.
think that he gets tired of ever tasting whiskey?
No, I don't think so. I think he's got a good variety. If you guys go to their website and look at all the different spirits they have out there, but I like this is an interesting grain blend on the Palmer Stretch rye whiskey because it's 50%, 56% rye, 32% wheat, and 12% barley. There's no corn in there,
No, sir.
and that wheat is really what I like. I'm picking that up on the second half after you have that initial taste of the rye. You can taste the rye just a little, but not. It's not heavy or darker, but it is like smooth. That second half of the pour is very smooth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
that's a very good sweetness to it, and it kind of helps take off some of that bite from that rye, and that's why we ended up doing that. We wanted to kind of bridge the gap. We feel like a lot of people don't really like rye, especially if they're a bourbon drinker. We run into it all the time where somebody's, oh, I don't like rye. It's too harsh. It's too peppery. It's too this. Adding in all that wheat and adding that sweetness, kind of bringing some of that back in with just the hints of the pepperiness and some of that those fruit flavors from that rye. We really think they blend together, and it kind of bridges that gap between a traditional rye at 95 or 100% and a bourbon.
Yeah, I mean, you're really stretching on saying peppery because there's not much pepper in that.
That's why we
You
wanted to
know,
get. That's why we wanted to really knock that down and not have much pepper in there, kind of bridge that
yeah,
gap.
that's
You
real
just
good.
keep,
You get that grassiness up front. You know that rye. Uh, I don't know how to explain it. Like if you guys have ever had rye wheat, I mean rye grain, fresh rye grain, and you just smell it. You get a lot of that on the nose and on the front of the palate. But I don't really get a spice. Like a lot of ryes, you
No,
get that spiciness. It's peppery, really peppery forward. Not on this one.
I
yeah,
don't
I
get
feel like there's
them.
a nice little hint of it in the back, but that's about it. It's not overwhelming. It's enough to
No.
notice that it's there, but that's all we wanted on it.
I would say it's very complex.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it takes a route, and I mean, I think if anybody ever, as considered yourself a drinker, I don't think that you would consider this one a true rye. Like people would be like, God, that's hate rye. Exactly like what you're saying. It kind of covers all the bases. I think.
Yeah, we're just trying to be outside of that box a little bit. Everybody's
Yeah,
pretty much in that one circle, and we want to be a step outside of that everywhere to give people some options and some different flavor profiles they've never been able to have, and maybe it helps them enjoy it a little bit more than something that they've had in the past. So we're just trying to be just a hair bit different.
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
be
Different
honest.
is
After
good.
tasting through the three right now, the rye is kind of my favorite right now, and I mean, and I wouldn't expect that. It's just a really nice profile, and then that wheat added to it, you can really taste it on the back side of it.
Do you see that question there Steve Bill is posing? What would be his favorite burnt church offering to pair with Texas barbecue?
Texas barbecue.
He's he's from South Carolina. He doesn't eat Texas barbecue, Steve.
Come on, Steve.
Well, if we're going brisket and stuff like that, man, I might go with the rye over the Anita's Choice bourbon. I'd probably go with the rye over the Anita's Choice bourbon.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
I'm telling you, that rye.
I'll vouch for that. We'll go with that one.
Yeah.
Steve wants to eat Texas barbecue. He lives in Arkansas. He wants to eat beef. He probably walks
Ain't
into one
nothing
of
like
these
Carolina
restaurants here,
barbecue.
Roger, and he comes in there and he's like, I want some barbecue. And then like, well, we got pulled pork, we got pork ribs, we got pork this. I want real barbecue from Texas. Go to Texas. Sorry, Steve. I
Yeah,
love you, man, but no. But I do like a good brisket. Not, don't get me wrong. I like a good brisket.
Yeah, we only have one place in South Carolina that does Texas style barbecue, and the last time I had it, I want to say I was drinking rye with it. So they don't live anywhere; they're nowhere around here, so I don't get it that often. But I would think that the Palmer stretch would work really well with some brisket.
What's the name Palmer Stretch? What does that come from?
So Palmer Stretch was actually the name of Burnt Church Road before the state government took it over and renamed it Burnt Church Road. When it was
Okay.
called Burnt Church Road or Palmer Stretch, all the locals still called it Burnt Church Road. Um, but it's actually named after a guy from Savannah. His name was George Palmer, and he liked to party, and he did it in Bluffton. So back in the day, he'd come across the Savannah River, and he would actually race horses down the road and do all these big parties and stuff down the road. So if you look at the back of the bottle, it's kind of hard to see. You're not going to be able to see it on camera with the liquor in there.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, that's printed on there.
Yeah,
It's two guys playing polo on
that's
horses.
cool.
Um,
Yeah, I would have never seen it if you wouldn't have told me until I hold it up and then I could see the light from the computer.
yep,
That's cool.
yep. So once you get that bottle empty, it'll pop really good, and you'll be able to see it. But the whiskey's just so dark, it doesn't really stand out too much. But
We
that
don't
goes
want we
back
don't
to
want to see it till the end, right? We want to
yeah,
drink all that whiskey first.
yeah. But that just goes back to us doing pretty much a lot of history with all of our products.
And I think that's cool. And you guys seem to be like actually putting out real history, not fake stuff like Elijah Craig was the father of bourbon. They don't know that for sure or not. But anyway, whiskey is so tied into the lore and the history of it just I guess it just kind of goes hand in hand with if you make whiskey, you have to have a story to back it up.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I would say so. I mean, all the moonshiners and everything that were up in the hills. And I mean, all through the Appalachia and just everything that went on and how much alcohol influenced the entire country. It was originally rum and brandy, and it kind of slowly moved into rye, and then it went on to bourbon. It's a part of the community. It's a part of the United States. I'm pretty sure if I really dug into my history, which my dad's doing right now, we're pretty confident that my great uncle and some of his brothers made whiskey up in the Appalachian Mountains way back in the day. So,
Hmm. Well, I mean, it's a good way to get rid of your leftover grains, right?
yes, sir.
Hey, can we give away a bottle?
Yes, sir. Let's do
We're
it.
gonna give away a bottle here in just a few minutes of this, and we'll have you, Peter, talk about this one. It's called Johnny Fever. It's a straight bourbon whiskey, 4 grain, small batch, 92 proof. Uh, Tell the audience a little bit about that because somebody's going to get that here, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks if it ever cools down.
Yeah. So that all stemmed. Johnny Fever actually is one of the few products that we do that isn't history based. So the owner didn't have a father growing up, and his father-in-law ended up becoming his father figure in his life, and his nickname was Johnny Fever. So when we opened up the door, we have this beautiful package that we only sell in the distillery. The top looks like a shotgun. I actually have a bottle right here. So this is a single barrel, but the top's actually metal. It looks like a shotgun. It's all painted up. But with everything going on, we decided that we wanted to put out a small batch version of it and kind of get a little bit of a more value product out there. So that is the same thing, but I do about 8 to 9 barrels per batch. And it is roughly anywhere from, it's right around 3.5 years old is what I call it. It's got 3-year-old whiskey all the way up to 4.5-year-old whiskey in it.
So what is the 4th grain? Do you mind
So
me
it's corn. It's I think it's 18% rye.
Yep.
It's I want to say 5% wheat and
barley?
12% malted barley.
12% barley. So it's more of a traditional Kentucky style mash bill, but it's all done in house now. Distilled by myself. We age it in our rick houses, and then I blend it up and make the blends out of it. We've gotten really good reception with it. It's only been out since last December. So it's still a very new offering for us. We're still trying to get it out there in the market and get it going, but we've had a lot of success with it so far.
Roger and I didn't want to be hogs. I mean, it's like my daddy says, it's okay to be a pig, just don't be a hog. So we wanted to share some of this whiskey instead of just keeping it all for ourselves. Because you can see, I mean, we don't have any whiskey to drink, right?
No,
So
no, I don't
Yeah.
have any over there in the other
no
room.
whiskey, no
Oh,
whiskey here. So we wanted to pass that on because let's face it, you guys are a craft distillery. It's there's so many craft distilleries when, like, for us, when we start looking for guests and you go down that rabbit hole, oh my God, it's like there's just really hundreds, if not thousands, of craft distilleries. There's no way a consumer, could get a bottle of every whiskey that's out there.
No.
It's just crazy. A lot of people just think of, Wild Turkey, uh, Heaven Hill, Buffalo Trace. That's whiskey to them. Oh my God! Every state has, except Arkansas. We don't really have that many uh, craft distillers, but we wanted to give back. So people that haven't heard of Burnt Church or haven't ever had a chance to sample it, somebody's going to get that tonight. So just remember, put in Burnt Church. I saw somebody in the comments just had burnt. You have to have Burnt Church. If you don't have Burnt Church, the algorithm or whatever, the computer bots will not put you in on that. So Burnt
also to remind
Church.
everybody, you have to be subscribed to be able to comment on
That's
YouTube.
true.
That's how it works with YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed so you can make a comment into the post and put in that
Yeah.
Burnt Church.
And you have about 5 minutes, 10 minutes before we give this thing away. Let's see. I've got another question I wanted to ask. If there's unlimited money, unlimited time, and you had no marketing department that needed whiskey as soon as possible, what would you be making?
Man, the only well, I got two things in my head. It's kind of a tie right now. I did a heirloom rye called Seashore Black Rye. We released a bottle or a barrel of it for our 5-year anniversary earlier in March. 115 proof, and it was absolutely phenomenal. A lot of fruit forward flavors. There's no pepper in that. Absolutely just beautiful whiskey. So it'd be a tie between that or right now I'm really big into single malts. So it'd be the Triticale single malt that I've been working on that's finished off in that Rouzon barrel. Once again, super aromatic, nice and floral, very easy to sip on. And that one I think I'm going to put out at around 111. So those would be the two.
I've worked with that Triticale or whatever. Refresh me, if you will. What is that?
It's a rye wheat hybrid.
Okay, I knew it was something. I couldn't remember what it was hybrid with. So it's
Yeah.
wheat.
The Scottish invented it in the late 1800s as a easier thing to grow over barley and tried to get the whiskey distillers in Scotland to use it, and nobody wanted it. So Scotland doesn't really grow it anymore, and the U.S. does, and a few other countries do.
So when you're using that grain, do you use malted barley with that, or do you actually use that malted?
I use that malted, 100%
Okay,
malted.
so
Yeah.
it's 100%. When you do your single malts, it's all 100%. Is that?
It's a
I guess
100%.
is there a legal definition for a single malt? Does it have to be that? I'm not big on single malt, so I really don't know much about them, honestly.
The rules on them, yeah.
Yeah, so with single malt, single usually means one distillery, and malt just means it's malted grain. The way I look at it is, if I'm putting single malt on it and it says American single malt, now that's a classification according to the TTB. They finally approved that, so that is 100% malted barley. If we're doing Triticale single malt, that would be 100% malted Triticale, and so on and so forth. So We're fortunate enough, like I said earlier, that the Weathers farm, one of the two farms that we use, they actually grow the triticale for us. They have the malt house on site, so they malt all of our grain as well, and they bring it to us.
That's nice to have that in your back door.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I get whatever I want done, however I want it done. I just gotta make one quick phone call.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So whatever weird experiments I come up with, they're usually not looking forward to my phone call if I got something crazy.
Well, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? I mean, as far as whiskey goes.
I'd probably have to be the single malt made from a heirloom pink corn called Unicorn. So I had that 100% malted, and I made some single malt out of it. It costs an arm and a leg to do. It is weird, and I'm not sure how to sell it. But when I finally release it, I think everybody will be very impressed because I'm very impressed with it right now. It's 4 years old, and I'm thinking I'm going to let it keep going for a little bit longer. So
Hmm. Interesting.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
say
what
it's
is
called
your
unicorn?
Yep, unicorn. So it was. They found one kernel of mutated pink corn, a pink kernel on a ear of corn, and they grew it out from there, and were able to cultivate it. And so it is completely pink. Mash,
That is a unicorn too. When you had one kernel.
yep, mash is pink. Everything about it's pink until you get it through the still. So it's quite
Huh.
interesting to watch run through the facility,
Huh.
that'd be
and then
interesting.
get
Yeah,
malted. That's
yeah.
just nobody really malts corn. So I was like, well, let's go
You
somewhere
should
weird.
post some pictures of that when you do it the next time.
Yeah, I will.
That
I
sounds
will.
really interesting. You do it for Breast Cancer Awareness Week. Come on,
Yeah,
somebody new?
that's what Greg actually said is we should do something with breast cancer awareness. He's like, is there any way this is going to come out pink? I was like, it's not going to come out pink. He'll end up being brown, but it would be cool if it could come out pink some way naturally.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. How could you do that? I don't know.
I like the
Be
work
hard.
you're doing with the wine barrels because I have wine as well, and the Cab Franc is kind of a fun fun varietal to play with, and especially with that because it's a real tannic wine.
Yeah,
Um, Most people don't realize it's the dad for Cabernet Sauvignon. It's the father of Cabernet Sauvignon, and but Roussan, that's the one that kind of there's the one that kind of threw me because I've not heard of anybody aging anything in Roussan barrels, and that's kind of a I after thinking about it, and I've got a few Roussans I'm going to pull out here this week and try them again, and that sounds really interesting. What are some of the notes you're picking up off that?
Oh, I can't remember anything off the top of my head. I haven't tried it in about a month, and like I said, I've been trying everything else. So flavors start to blend in if I don't have my notes together. But from what I remember, it was super aromatic and floral. Between that rye wheat hybrid of the Triticale and the Roussan barrel, and it just continued that through the flavor profile all the way down. It's super soft, um, nice, and just it's a little sweet, but not overly sweet. It was just one of the coolest things I've gotten to do. And once again, we got all the barrels from the United States. So called up a winery, and they happened to have barrels and got them brought in. So I was able to do it. And
Was that
um,
East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast, West
West Coast.
Coast.
Okay,
Yep,
I might
yep.
know.
We got them from Washington State. Yep,
Oh, okay. I probably know who you got them from. So,
yeah. It was
yeah.
great. It's very, very good. I can't wait to release it. So I'm hoping we can have that out maybe by the end of this year, but it just kind of depends on what the marketing team and everybody else wants to do. Once it's done, it's kind of out of my hands, and I don't get to say
Well,
what.
have your marketing team make sure they keep us up to date on the releases and things like that. We'll put it out on our uh, Facebook and on our web because I'm interested in getting a bottle of that because that sounds interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Something a little bit different, and
yeah. It's definitely different, but it's very approachable, especially at 111. It was absolutely beautiful. It went in the barrel at 120, 121. So.
Do you
Uh,
normally, when you put stuff in the barrel, do you normally find that your proof comes down or goes up?
Um, so when we first got started, everything that we did came down. But recently, with the getting more and more up in the years of aging, I'm starting to see a little bit down and a little bit up. It's kind of fluctuating back and forth. I've still got some. So most of our products, like the ones y'all are trying tonight, all went in the barrel at 110. Um, I'm starting to see a lot of those usually sit around 107, 108. And then I've just pulled some single barrels for this other Johnny Fever line that we only sell in house. And those were coming out at 110, 111. So it's been flip flopping back and forth. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the next couple of years if we start going up or stay kind of back and forth off the starting proof.
Do you guys have a rick house or a barrel house?
We got a barrel house. Yeah, we didn't put any ricks in it. Yep. So we just use used wine racks that we get from California and just throw all the barrels on those and set them up, or on pallets. Right. We're using smaller barrels.
Right.
Oh, so you do use some smaller barrels too, which is
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Those are good.
Everything you're drinking tonight, a 30-gallon barrel.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got one of our favorite cooperages down in Hot Springs. It did a lot of 30-gallon barrels over the years. And
okay.
It's called Gibbs Brothers.
I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, well, I think, what are they, about a third generation? Go to our Bourbon Legends page and just go back through the past videos. There's one video that we put out sometime earlier this year where we did a tour of his facility, and it's awesome because like everything is run off of belts, and he's got to run a belt to do all of his. I wish Will was here because Will could explain it better, but it's not a modern cooperage, if you will. Yeah. Everything is done with old machinery. A lot of things are still done by hand. We were talking about this toasted turkey earlier tonight, and that's one of the things is I've taken Wild Turkey 101 and Rare Breed, and I've blended them and put them in a highly toasted 20-gallon barrel.
Okay, nice.
Let it age for about, I believe it's 6 months now. And, kind of like you having that malt house in your back door, I'm glad that I have a cooperage that's, our away that I can call and say, hey, I need this or that. I just can't get 53-gallon barrels from him. He doesn't make big barrels. He just makes, I believe now it's 20, and 20 is his biggest, and he goes down, does a lot of like, 5s and 2.5s.
Okay.
Yeah, 5, 3, 2.5.
Yeah. I miss having the cooperage in my backyard. I used to drive there twice a month to go pick up barrels, but no longer, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll get back. Kind of going to be a tough time to getting back into making barrels when the bottom is falling out of whiskey.
Yeah.
But maybe they will. Roger, you have any more questions for Peter? If you don't, I'm going to go to the lightning round.
Well, I got questions because because they've diversified at Burnt Church with having the sports bar. But man, I'm telling you what, I looked at this menu here. There is some good stuff on this menu that, I mean, bourbon steak ciabatta, a Rickhouse chicken club, a distillery haystack burnt. How are you not 400 pounds working in a place that has that stuff next door to you? Like,
I like to cook, so I actually I hunt a lot. So most of my meat that I eat is actually venison or something that I've gone out and hunted myself. So I cook and bring my lunch every day. Try and stay good and try and stay on the right my normal diet, and not get off of it too much.
Lean proteins.
Lean protein.
Hey, are you aware of the? I don't even know if it's actually a distillery, but it's called Crab Trapper. Have you seen this?
I have not seen.
Okay, so they make whiskey that's flavored with crabs.
Interesting. Okay.
And they also make one that's flavored with venison.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not cheap, and they're 375s, but that's kind of the running joke on our show. We've got one guy, I think Justin is still on here, and he's like, "You should buy." He's a Kunais. He's from Louisiana, deep south, and he's like, "You should get some of that." I'm like, I just don't think Old Bay as part of the nose on a whiskey is going to be good, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have. I know they have crab. They have venison. There's one other one. I can't remember what it is.
I've seen one. I was in New Hampshire last summer, and there was a distillery that I'm pretty sure they put duck or goose or something in it.
Mm.
It was really interesting. I
Well,
didn't
no,
get too
we
interested on that.
we we had a guest on not too long ago from out of Texas, and did you say New Hampshire?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's probably the same one because I just googled it. It's called uh, Tamworth Distilling out of
Yeah,
New Hampshire.
that's where I was at. Yeah, they didn't have the crab one while I was up there.
Okay,
They had
I'm
they had
trying
a
to
goose or something.
I'm trying to see here just what all they have. So they have the crab. Yes, I'm 21. Uh, real quick here. All right, so they have the crab. Uh, they have the deer slayer, and then they have the spruce and goose whiskey.
There it is. Yeah, that one was on the menu, but I didn't get too adventurous. I stuck with their gin and their regular whiskey before I did anything crazy.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. 92 proof. Well, it's actually a 200 milliliter bottle, so it's not even a 375. But yeah, it says it's a deliciously weird spirit. I would have to say that is probably accurate, or at least weird. It's
Great way
weird
to.
part of it. All right, hey, can we give away the bottle before we do the lightning round?
I think we should.
All right, let's do that real quick. Let me just give me a second here to pull it up.
This is where we have our interlude music that we normally have. We do.
Yeah.
He's taking
All
his
right.
time. You got to put this thing together because
I've got too many screens in the background. I've got Crab Trapper. I got Burnt Church. I got six screen. Da da da. I think I've got it up here. Did we see it now? Burnt Church. Okay.
does everybody put their entry in?
If you haven't, you're going to be too late because I'm drawing it right now. Jared.
Hey,
Jared Kersey out of Northeast Arkansas is going to win a bottle of this Johnny Fever. When I hear Johnny Fever, I know Peter, you're too young, but Roger, when you hear Johnny Fever, what do you think of?
WKRP in Cincinnati,
That's right.
and that's probably what he was named after.
I have heard that time and time again. I actually had to look it up because I had no idea what people were talking about when I first got going.
Johnny Fever. Okay, let's go to the lightning round. Jared, I'll ship this to you, or I'll try to get it to you somehow. Not right now, though. We got to get this weather to cooperate with shipping.
We might be able to hand deliver it to Jared, though.
I bet we probably may. He may be playing a baseball game somewhere around. I've hand delivered a lot of stuff to Jared. Okay, let's do. All right, Roger, say goodbye for the moment.
See you, sir.
I'm going to remove Roger. I'm going to stack you on top of me, or me on top of you. I don't know which, but me on top of you. Okay. So here's how we play this game, and let me get my notes ready. Okay, so I'm going to give you a question. First thing comes to your head, just throw it out there. And this does not have to include your whiskey, okay? I'd rather it not include your whiskey, unless it's like, what's your favorite whiskey that you make? So,
Okay.
ready?
Yep.
Pot still or column still?
Oh, I'm old school. I still like pot stills.
Pot, okay. Favorite whiskey that you don't make?
Right now it'd have to be the Uncle Nearest toasted single barrel bourbon. My buddy sent me a bottle from there, and it was fantastic.
Might not get it anymore. You know all about their troubles, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Heavy char or light char?
Oh, I'm a light char. I'm gonna go light
Okay.
char. Yeah.
You're talking about like under a 3?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I'm a big proponent of using ones and twos.
If you weren't a distiller, what would you be doing right now?
Um, I don't know, playing golf, probably hunting, probably hunting.
Professional hunting? You have your hunting show?
Try to.
Uh, we may have touched on this one before, but favorite corn for making distillate?
Favorite corn? Definitely, definitely the Jimmy Red.
Okay. Favorite proof range to drink?
I'm a big proponent of somewhere in the low hundreds, probably 100 to 108.
Okay, you're right in our wheelhouse. One bottle of whiskey or bourbon or rye that you always have on hand at home.
Always have on hand. Well, I got a lot of bourbon, rye, and whiskey.
Well, one that you would never run out of, that you would always have.
I'd probably have to say it's one I've been drinking the longest, which is Wild Turkey 101.
Can't beat Mr. Jimmy's 101.
Cannot.
One grain that you'd love to experiment with that you haven't already.
There is a heirloom blue barley that is being grown in Montana. I want to say I would love to try and do a single malt with that
A blue
barley.
barley.
I met the guy that's growing it and malting it at a malting conference, and I really wanted to buy it, but I can't. So
You get one pour and then whiskey disappears forever. What is that one pour going to be?
of whiskey, and it's gone forever. Um, It'd probably be the one that really made me fall in love with whiskey, which is Willet Pot Still. That really made me just truly fall in love with whiskey.
You hold on. You love the Willet pot still in the bottle, in the pot still bottle?
Yep.
Really? Because
Yep.
most people I've heard think that's a drain pour.
Nope. I love it.
Huh.
I love
I
it.
told you
Well,
there's a
you got
profile in it. There's people that have live and die with that.
Yeah, that one I tried that back right when I was first getting going, and it really made me truly fall in love with whiskey.
well, there you have it. That's the lightning round, folks. Give applause. Yeah. All right. Good job. Good job. Hey, this has been very interesting tonight. I really have enjoyed talking about all these, going down these rabbit holes of all these different grains. I mean, kind of maybe we kind of have like minds, but man, that's cool. Like that blue barley you were talking about. I'm like, oh, I'd like to try to get my hands on, some of that. I wouldn't do a single malt though, because there's something about single malts I just don't do. I just don't. I haven't found that flavor profile that I like in a single malt.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
hey, that's why they make so many different kinds of whiskeys, right?
Exactly.
Everybody's got their own palate and their own things. So
That's why there's so many different types of spirits. You
that's
know,
right.
all those different flavors.
And sometimes I like just to end the night with a nice cold glass of chocolate milk. So,
There you go.
you know.
Perfect.
Well, Pete, thanks for coming on our show. We really appreciate it. I know it's late over there and you got to get up early in the morning and drink whiskey, and I know that's hard to do. So,
Well, I appreciate y'all having me on.
thank you. Let us know when you get some of these, like that one
Other
I was
releases,
talking
yeah.
about earlier. Yeah, that white corn. What was it? White corn and I can't even
Uh,
remember what you said now, but
the first one we're going to have come out of the wine barrel series will be the Palmer Stretch and the Cab Franc. And we're trying to get the label finished up right now and get it printed. I'm hoping it'll be out probably into September if we can get everything done. So we're moving right along on all those. So
sounds good.
Sounds
Well,
like I need to talk the wife into going to Hilton Head and stopping by Burnt Church.
there you go.
Come on. Hey, end of September, October is great. It's still hot enough to get out on the beach, but it's not hot enough that it'll kill you when you walk outside. So
That'll work. All right, Pete. Thanks for being on with us, and keep on doing what you're doing, man. I like the experimentation.
thank you so much.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
sir.
Y'all
Thanks.
have
See
a
you
good one.
later, Pete. Everyone, that was Pete from Pete Thompson from Burnt Church. Let me remove this banner. It's no good anymore. So yeah, I was really interested in all these. I hate to even use the word, Roger, experimental, because experimental acts like you're talking about a one-off product, and it may be good and it may be bad. But I mean, we had three of these bottles, and every one of them was very good. I'm kind of like you. I hadn't tried the rye till tonight. I think that rye might be my favorite out of all three of these bottles that we had.
I was hoping to come over and sneak that bottle away from you, and when your back was turned, and
Oh look,
no,
we still have quite a bit of it to drink. So
yeah, I think we can do that. We'll definitely do that. That
yeah,
was really good. The Neatest Choice is good because of that. Again, the varieties in the 6 grain. Uh, the rice whiskey is always good. Now you've had another rice whiskey. You said you've only had two, but you've had another one from the
oh,
place right
Arkansas.
here. Yeah,
That's right. I forgot about that.
right here. And
They don't
if
come on
they
our
ever
show,
came on our
Roger.
show,
They
if
don't
they
come
would
on
ever
our
come on
show.
our show, Rocktown Distillery would ever come on our show, we would talk to them about the rice whiskey. But hey, but
Hmm.
we'll move on from that. I'm not going to be bitter.
All right, we're going to move on then real quick. We're going to talk about the Red Barrel Liquors Bourbon Legends bottle. Hard Truth. It's an Amberana finish. If you got your camera, or I'm sorry, your phone, and you'd like to take a picture of that Venmo, uh, now is a great time to do it. It's a single barrel limited release from Hard Truth, and I'm going to tell you that one. Even if you're not a huge fan of Amberana, this one hits all the points without it being overly bearing Amberana. Like a lot of us have said, that's some of the best Amberana that we've ever had, mainly
Yeah,
because
I
it's
was
not
kind of
Amberana.
the big thing I thought about that bottle is the fact that it's kind of unique. There's not too many that this is the first time they had it. They had produced it back in 2020 and had never bottled it, and the mash bill's a little bit different, and it's pretty cool, pretty good, very good.
I gotta say this real quick. Will says save some for me. Do you think we should save some for Will?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to save some for Will for victory pours in December.
There you go. There you go. Well, I'm looking forward to that victory pour of the Wild Turkey Masters. I mean, sorry, Single Rick House.
Okay, yeah, me too, and the Russell
Let's
13.
let's do some news real quick, Roger. We kind of flip flop as we usually do. What do you know about Jim Gaffigan's Hot Pockets Father Time whiskey? Tell us a little bit about that, if you will.
Well,
Whoop! I didn't do that to you. I'll be
well,
right back. I'll be right back. You talk, Roger, and I'll
no,
be
no,
back.
you're good. I know where you're going. Make sure you
Yeah,
turn
yeah,
your microphone off.
yeah. I will.
And yeah, the interesting Father Time bourbon. I don't know if anybody's ever caught his act recently. He's had a whole thing on bourbon. He's really gotten into it, and he has dove deep into it. And one of the new things that they came out with is empty nester strength, the caboose. Uh, one, double gold, 97 points. He's just not jumping into this part way. He's going into it full full tilt. Jim's kind of put himself out there a little bit with the spirit and with the bourbon that he's producing. That he's got another producer working on it, but he's really put a lot of time into this. And there's a couple of them that we're going to talk about tonight where I've been kind of surprised at the amount of time they put into these. Now, again, maybe it's not the greatest timing as far as the bourbon market goes, but I think if you're looking for something different, and it's going to be it will be very limited. And from what I understand, uh, from Steve Beal is that he tried to find some of it available, and it was all sold out. So
Well, do you think it's
he's
that? Do you think it's that good, or is it his celebrity that's adding to this?
well, I don't think it's WLW good. I think it's just something different, and and you're right, the celebrity is adding to it a little bit.
Well,
But that's okay. Whatever it takes to sell a bottle anymore. You know what I mean?
well, I will tell you this about Jim Gaffigan and Steve Bill. If you're watching, Steve Bill is kind of our backdoor guy to try to help get guests on the show. I mean, I think it'd be a great conversation if we could get Jim Gaffigan on the show and talk about his whiskey. But I will say this: it's something that he actually does love, like you were saying. He's passionate about it, as opposed to a lot of these celebrities who just have their name on the bottle. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah. Well, the non-drinker guy that does it for Buffalo Trace, I mean, he doesn't even drink. So, oh,
Well,
that's a whole nother story.
hmm.
But
Moving right along, what about this offering, Stetson? And when we say I'm sorry, excuse me. When we say Stetson, we are talking about the cowboy hat from Texas.
yeah, and when you first talked about this, when I first heard about it, and I said that heard about the advertisements for it, I was a little suspect because I thought, man, they're a little late to the game, coming to the bourbon game to put their name on a bottle and those type things. But after reading some of the information on this, they've been developing this project with Bardstown and Green River for over 4 years. This isn't a last year type thing where they thought, hey, let's jump into the market. They've been coming up with this over the last 4 years or so. I think they put a lot of time and effort into it. I think a lot of us know that Bardstown and Green River, I'll say it here and say it, have made some of the best distillant and have some of the best mash bills, and they're all starting to hit. They're all starting to hit a certain age. That 5, 6, 7 year age statement, and they use a high rye blend that they put together with Bardstown and Green River, and I I'm interested to try it. I wasn't earlier, but now I am, just because I read all the background that went into making this bottle.
Yeah, it seems pretty interesting. But I mean, let's face it, anything from Bardstown, like you said, Green River, is usually good. Have you heard anything about the pineapple? Have you seen anybody that has reviewed that pineapple finish? What
The
what
pineapple finish bars is
what's the
getting
consensus?
so far it they like it. It's interesting. The problem, like any of those things with their small batch, there's only 2,800 bottles.
Right,
So it's not like you worry about it being out there and not ever being sold. It'll be sold out. It'll be gone. I think it's just a unique idea and a unique finish that they came up with. This kind of is sticking to the standard, whereas that's kind of
right.
going out a little bit on a limb, a little bit, adding the pineapple finishing and the rum cask. But I think he's just trying, like anybody else. You try to find something to reach more people, because the regular bourbon drinker might not think it's cool. But man, I tell you what, on the East Coast, apparently, it is moving out.
Really?
They're selling a lot of the East Coast.
So I guess we're going to start seeing some like mango pineapple finish crap. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, you can make some. We can make some. Come on,
yeah.
Craig. We'll get some pineapple juice, pour it in
The
a
thing,
barrel,
the
and
the thing is, Roger, when you start using pineapple juice, that's a fruit. I would consider that a brandy, not necessarily a bourbon.
well, you might be known to have made a few brandies in your time, so
May have, yeah. But I mean, you can't call it a bourbon though. But they're calling it a bourbon, so because it's finished, it's not 100% brandy. I mean,
we could use that famous Arkansas pineapples. You know, you've seen those, haven't you?
you talking about the upside down ones? What are you talking about?
No. Well, I don't know. They could be.
Moving right along, getting back to an old standard, Barton Distillery. We kind of hit on the. I think a few weeks ago we hit on the rye, but I don't think we hit on the 15-year, did we?
No, and I don't know that I'll be hitting on the 15-year at $250 for a liter bottle that's only released at the retail. I'm really liking the 12-year bottle that's a $60 bottle. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, 3 years worth a couple of $100 more? That's the big question, right?
Well, it's 3 years and about 24 points in proof. And it's a liter bottle, apparently. It's released a travel-only bottle. A nice box, pretty box, but still. You get a liter bottle of that, you can't get anything else when you go to the duty-free store because you're limited on how much alcohol you can get.
Well, once again, it's just something that, I think they're reaching for their how much can we get, kind of like the gold full label or, whatever. Because these days are going to be coming to an end here real fast.
There we go. $250 is too steep for $17.92.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
But
let's just say that money is no object. Do you like $17.92 that much that you would go for it?
I like a lot of the releases from them. I like the Foolproof. I like some of those others, but I don't know that I'd go after this travel release. It just seems it's just a little too far, bridge too far.
Well, I mean, that Stitzel Weller, what is it coming out at? Is it 21 years? I believe.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of good reviews on that 21-year-old bottle. So you never know. Hey, look what came out 2 days ago, Roger. This is what happened when you make graphics on Monday and it's, the next day, and then you don't play it for 3 days and then it's 2 days behind. Hard Truth Rye.
I think
Distillers Reserve.
I think we tasted a little of that when we were at the distillery.
We may have. It's got that dark roasted coffee notes, remember?
Yeah, when we were going after we picked the Amberana, but then, mind you, that's not the last of the Hard Truth we're going to have from there. We picked 2 other barrels. One of the barrels, I think everybody remembers. The third barrel might have been a little sketchy as far as some of the people remembering that we picked it. Because we might have had a few.
Yeah, when you get into, and that was only a half barrel. When you get into those last barrels and you start picking, yeah, there was a lot of consumption prior to. So
yeah, but it was good. I enjoy all their stuff. I think they do some very interesting processes. I think the interesting thing that is their new wheated version. I really regret not getting a bottle while we were up there. I think that's going to be interesting. I love this. Will, see what Will says? Yeah. I was the responsible adult that day.
Somebody had to be. It wasn't me.
No, I'm pretty sure you scared the whole bridal party that day. You're breaking up.
I said, do you see our numbers right now?
Oh, yeah. There's about 30 people out there.
We have 30 people on, but all through the interview, we were barely getting 20. So you just never know when somebody's gonna log in. I just have to say this. For those that are late to the game, we gave away a bottle tonight. We gave away a bottle of Johnny Fever, and you guys weren't here to know about it. So, you know, you need to tune in a little early. You never know when we're going to throw something out like that. You never know when the genie's going to show up.
The genie. You talking about the bourbon genie?
Yeah, you know the bourbon genie.
Yeah.
He's back. He might look a little different because of copyright implications or whatever. But
Into us, watch us dance.
when you do that, that's when the bourbon genie usually pops out of his little lamp or whatever he jumps out of.
I think he pops out of a bourbon bottle. Just me.
Oh yeah, that's right. You rub the bourbon bottle 3 times.
Yep.
And you make your wish, and then the genie appears, and he says, "My wish is your command. What is it, you mere mortal, that you would like?" And then everybody's like, "I want a WLW," and then he just goes back to like, "I'm going back."
He goes, doesn't everybody else? Uh-oh. This is the point in the evening where Craig starts to turn into a robot, and
it wouldn't
getting
work.
better. He's coming back.
I don't know. I don't know why. I've got a hot spot right here. Like, Steve's been missing rubbing the genie's bottle all week. Yes, Steve, you're supposed to rub the bottle.
The bottle, Steve, not other things you've substituted for it.
So anyway, does anybody have any questions out there they want to ask Roger? I will. If we know the answer. Now, Roger, you were locking up. You were locking up on me right there.
Well, see, I think it's going everywhere. It's like,
I know. I think like there. Is that better?
Yeah.
He's going to answer it.
JTS Brown Bottle and Bond. Hey, something that we've all wanted and we asked for from the Master Distiller at Heaven Hill. We talked to him, and thusly it's going to happen. I saw the label for it out on the TTP website. There is going to be a single barrel version of mellow corn coming out. There's no idea yet on what the proof point's going to be, but there is going to be a single barrel of mellow corn. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Martin Cox says, any news on the pepper? Yeah, I've got some news on the pepper. It's probably not what you want to hear, but here's the deal. When you start working with distributors, okay, and it kind of, they say one thing and then I say one thing and then what I say is wrong and then I get blamed for it because of what the distributor said. Anyway, we're looking at about 2 weeks out. Don't hold me to it. Don't quote me, because you know what? I was told it was going to be out the end of July and the 1st of August, and it didn't happen. So we're going to go about things a little different from now on. We're not going to do pre-sales. We're just going to wait until our picks are actually in the store, and then we're going to put it out for sale. That way you guys don't get anxious and want this stuff because you already put your money in. I get it too. So please bear with us.
That's all out after the fact.
Yeah. After the fact, it's just like Will just said. It's all up to the distributor, and they don't seem to get in any hurry for anything.
No, not in this day and age.
If it would have been up to me, we'd have had that stuff out a month ago.
Well, we're lucky they didn't file bankrupt, like RNDC.
Yeah. But that is why when this one on September 1st, that one right there now, it's going to be ready to ship September 1st.
We've got a very excellent distributor on that.
Yeah, we do on that one. And I don't know why I can't take this thing off of here, why it's still on here.
Well, it's covering up your beautiful face, not mine. So I like it.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, but that one will be out. That's going to be the prototype of how we're going to do it from now on. It's in hand and it is ready to go as soon as you put your dollar bills into the computer system.
Okay. Do not mention hands around Steve Beal. We're going to have a problem.
I might have a problem because me and Steve Beal are going to be in Kansas City together with each other this weekend.
You might want to engage in getting some handcuffs or something.
Well,
he is known as serial killer Steve as well.
I need to put this out there. One of our viewers on the show is actually on a plane right now going from Miami to Omaha, Nebraska. But his dad suddenly passed away today from a massive heart attack. So if you guys are so inclined, remember Doug Thompson in your thoughts and prayers, because he's going to be going through a tough time right now. So Doug, we're sorry about what happened there with your dad. So if you watch this in the rerun, our condolences to you, buddy. And
God bless you, brother.
Yeah. So don't want to end it on a sad note. So anywho, give us some questions, guys. Throw something out there. Give us some oddball questions that we try to answer.
Fun. We're not.
Let's end this.
If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you've got friends and neighbors that haven't subscribed, grab them, hit that subscribe button for them. We need subscribers. We want to have more of this out there and kind of move it around. We've had some great numbers over the last few weeks. We appreciate it. And look
here.
That.
Hey, look here. Go to the Bourbon Legends page and scroll down. First thing you're going to see is the thing about the toasted turkey too. The second thing you're going to see when you scroll down is a direct link to our Facebook page. So go to that. Every day we post at least one question a day. It may be, what's your favorite, Weller Foolproof or Weller 107? And then people get in a debate. You might even see a girl in a bikini and Martin Cox talks about being up. You never know what you're going to find there.
No, he's got the blue chew going on. Martin's invested in the blue chew. He's 100% in on that. I can guarantee it.
Oh, Lord. Poor Martin. T says, you guys asked on Facebook which of the B-Tech lineup you would pick. Which would you pick? Oh, well, I personally would pick probably... I would probably pick the E.H. Taylor B-Tac now, since it's one of the newer ones and I don't have it. Roger says no. I actually tasted it this year, and I thought it tasted pretty good.
One time before I die, and you know what it is. I need WLW, okay?
I've got it up there. That's why I didn't ask for it.
I know you've got it up there, and you having it is a beautiful thing, because one night I'm going to get you drunk enough that we're going to open that bottle, and I'm going to have some of that bottle. But I would love to have a bottle of that. That's kind of one of those dream pours, especially with the availability of everything coming out here now.
I've got a feeling if you rub that bottle 3 times and ask the genie, he'll get you that.
I think I'm working on it, yeah.
Now, Will asked pizza or wings. You can only have one from now on. Oh, from now on, forever, pizza.
Wings.
Yeah. You can only do wings so many ways. Pizza, you can do several different ways.
Oh, hell. There's 100 different flavors you can throw on a wing.
Well, I like what T says, pizza wings.
Pizza wings.
What are our thoughts on Garrison Brothers? Well, I'm just not big on Texas whiskey, I'll be honest with you, but the Balmore that I have is not bad. I don't think it was worth what I paid for it, but I would have to go with Balmore.
Yeah, I agree, because when we had it at your house and you'd opened it up and it had been open for a few days, when you first tried it, it was a little harsh. But after it got a little air to it and a little time on it, but again, I don't know that it was worth all the money that it was involved with it. That's the thing.
Right.
That P times V thing, the price versus volume. I don't know that it was worth it.
Well, that's the whole thing. A lot of times when it comes down to, you know, if that Balmore was a $50 bottle, I'd be like, oh hell yeah, I'm in all the time. But when it's a $200 bottle, it's just not quite worth the $200 bottle.
And I know why they do that, because again, you're talking they're using 30-gallon barrels down there, and by the time they empty that 30-gallon barrel, there might be 12, 13, 14 gallons of juice in that barrel if they've let it sit for 4 or 5 years.
That is
So
true.
there's not a lot of that juice out there. But
Most underrated bottle under $50. I'm curious to see what Roger's going to pull out.
You know what I'm pulling out. You know what I'm pulling out.
Excuse me while I whip it out.
Little silk velvet action. We've been talking to these folks, and this stuff right here at 107 proof, we're going to have them on the show in a few weeks. And mind you, this is just the beginning for, I think, this whole Western Kentucky distilling and silk velvet brand and these type things. This stuff it's really good. The blend that they put together for this and the time that they put in that bottle. I know initially I had problems with the cork. Will's going to bring that up. But again, for the most part, I think it's a very good bourbon. They did something unique with the profile that they got to put it together. As far as new distillers, that's one of them. And the other one would probably be the Left Bank Distilling, because I think it still fits into that 50 and under range.
I'm trying to look and see what I would pick under $50. I'm going to probably go with a Green River product, something like, just like the foolproof Green River.
Oh yeah,
I think that's one that you wouldn't beat for sure.
You wouldn't kick it out of bed. Let's put it that way. You would not
No,
kick it out of bed.
I wouldn't. Martin Cox says he bought a Jackson Purchase bottled in bond today for $42, and it's pretty good. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got one that's good. Martin, are you going to go over tomorrow night and meet Mr. Beam from Jackson Purchase? He's going to be at Buster's tomorrow night. I was just wondering if you were going to be there. It's tomorrow night, I believe.
Tomorrow night, okay.
Tonight was Big Nick, some moonshiner. Which I have a question to ask you guys. Since you've been asking us questions, would you like to see Mark and Digger on our show from Moonshiners? Because a little birdie flew on my shoulder today and told me that they think they could get them on our show. He may have been the co-host last week with Aaron Chepnick. So I know he's got a connection with them, but he threw that out there.
Yeah, we'd like to also get the gentleman from Jackson Purchase on. Because, he just lives right down the alley from one of our favorite people at Whiskey Thief, the Master Distiller Whiskey Thief.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Lisa?
Lisa Roper Wicker. Yeah.
Lisa Roper Wicker. Beat Sam Bourbon says Mark and Digger would be cool. We'll see what we can do. Mark Pruitt has just turned in. My internet is out at home. Have you mentioned the first bottle from the third pick? We mentioned the first bottle several times tonight. I'm not quite sure what you mean by the third pick. But yeah, we have mentioned the Amberana bottle that's out there, Mark.
The Amberana was out there, and we've got it's out on the webpage and got a place. I think he might be talking about the third pick, which is the one we did back at the cabin.
Well, if it's out there, I'm not aware of it.
It's not available yet, but it's one of those that's we were talking about. There were two different. There's a High Road Bourbon, and then there's a 2 grain mash bill one that still hasn't been released yet. We're waiting on those. The Amberana is out, and it's out on the website, and you can pick it up at $79.95. and or 99, and then the other two will be coming out here soon, and we're looking forward to. Hopefully, again, we're waiting on distributors and waiting on the distillery to get those out. Um, so he just meant the third pick from the group, which is the Hard
Gotcha.
Truth ones. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
Yep.
understand what he's saying now. Okay.
Yep. We talked
All
about
right.
those.
Here's my question: Coke or Pepsi?
I'm going Coca-Cola.
I'm a Southern boy. I got to go with Coke too. I don't know where Pepsi originated, but I know it's not from Atlanta, Georgia.
And I know the other thing, I prefer Coke or Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper's a Texas thing, right?
Yeah, but it's an Arkansas thing too. Get a little cane sugar coming in, a little bit of. I like Dr. Pepper.
Show me the proof says Coke. Martin Cox says Coke. Chill Will says Coke. Now we get over here into the damn far east of Arkansas, and T says Diet Pepsi, and he says we're weird. Well, here's the thing, T. Here's the thing. You can't mix a Jack Daniels with a Diet Pepsi. I mean, I guess you could, but that's why Coke was with me. Coke and whiskey.
I heard I heard that Diet Pepsi and Elmer T. Lee does great.
I think that was Sprite, dude.
Oh, well, that might be right. Yeah.
It depends on if you're drinking it or snorting it. That comes from our our law enforcement officer, Mr. Bortner. Yeah, well,
You know, I always love Mike Bortner.
Coke.
Bortner always has the best.
Now, are we froze up? Because Roger, you're froze up.
No. Wasn't it Doctor before Coke? Moving.
I don't know if Dr. Pepper was before Coke or not. I don't know.
We'll have to look. I think Coca-Cola was first. Dr. Pepper was second.
Does anybody remember Mr. Pip? Was it Mr. Pip?
Mr. Pibb.
Mr. Pibb. Yeah. Mr. Pibb. I don't remember that one hardly.
That was.
I remember it. I just wasn't a big drinker of it.
Elmer T. Lee was ginger ale. No, I think it was Sprite.
I think it was Sprite. I'm almost 100% sure it was Sprite. I believe. I mean, I've been wrong before.
And I'm gonna tell you this. I went out and looked on YouTube and went back to a bunch of, and there's some older interviews from our favorite master distiller, Jimmy Russell, that are making the web out there now, and they're really funny. I mean, there's some really funny ones out there because he'll talk about. He talks about these guys back when they were still alive, Elmer T. Lee and a few of these others. He goes, we love Elmer, but he had a strange fascination with Sprite.
You know what? Drink it how you like it.
Yeah. Whatever way you want to drink it, this is way you want to drink it.
That's right. Now, talking about funny shows or funny commercials, our guests next week on our show, listen, if you guys don't show up for this one, and it's going to be your own damn fault, but we've got two Stevens on our show next week. Stephen Fonte, the brand ambassador for Yellowstone, Lux Row. And then we're going to have another Beam, Stephen Beam, will be on our show. And if you guys haven't caught some of their videos that they're making out there, commercials, if you will, oh my God, they're hilarious. They are really, really funny.
They are. There's no doubt about that.
Mr. Fonte is very animated and very forward thinking with the way he says things. And then Mr. Stephen Beam is very nonchalant and kind of dry in his commercials. And, you know, it's kind of like the Andy Taylor and the Barney Fife. That's kind of the vibe they're giving. And it's funny. Dave from Arizona says rare breed or rare breed rye. For me, it'd have to be rare breed because I don't own any rare breed rye, so I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, there was a couple people who've been on our show recently. We had uh, a couple people have talked about rare breed rye being one of their favorite
Yep.
bourbons, favorite drinks. So
I mean,
I think
Roger,
we need to get some rare breed rye.
that might be a Toasted Turkey 3 project.
Oh, I like that idea. 101, the 101 Wild Turkey 101 rye and
And then the
the
rare
rare
breed
breed rye.
rye. Mhm.
Ooh,
That might have to be a small batch. That might have to be like a 5 gallon or 3 gallon run or something because
toasted rye, we call it.
yeah, the toasted rye. Toasted Turkey 3 Rye Series. I have to brag on myself a little bit here. I just want to put this out. I love creating labels, and I just think that is an awesome damn label. You buy it for the label and not for the booze, whatever.
I'll be drinking the booze,
But look at that Toasted Turkey 2. Man. Long awaited for. People have been wanting that bottle for a long time, and it is going to be able. I'm going to be
is it
able to.
really 110?
It is 110 proof, and it actually came down in proof. It went in the barrel at 115, and it came down to 110. That's why I was asking Peter about, does most of yours go down or up? Because I would have swore it went up in that hot rick house, but it did not. It went down. I was getting nervous there because I'm like, God dang, what am I going to do if it's not 100? If it comes out less than what the last one did, you know? So, yeah, Bortner, you put on the comments, let you know. You know, I'll let you know, buddy. I got you taken care of. I'm going to just tell you right now, there was such a high demand after last year that there's going to be 100 bottles this year of it. So, and there's no limit. You can get as many as you want. If you want to buy 100 bottles, if Steve Bill wants to come over and buy 100 bottles, I'll throw them in the back of his truck. I don't care. So, okay, good. Show me the proof says he filled out the form. Good. That's what I want you to do, because that's going to be the basis of how this stuff is going to go out the door, how it's going to fly out in the field there, if you will, is if you if you have that information, I get that from you, you're almost guaranteed that you're going to be in the hunt on that. So all these puns, man, I don't know about these puns.
I like it. I like it. We're having fun here tonight. We got.
Will wants me to throw this graphic back up of this. Let me see if I can do that there. There you go. There it is. That's the $79.99 muled. Add 20 for the postal guys, and there is the link to that Amberana finished Hard Truth Bottle. Roger, do I have you muted? I think I have Roger muted. Roger, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, I had you muted there by accident. So.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Hard Truth. This is one of those things that they did. Like I said when we talked about it before, they did this in 2020 as an experiment, and they showed it to us. And there was several people in the group that we had. We had a large pick team. Let's just put it that way. And there are a lot of people that fell in love with this bottle when they pulled it out and showed it to us. I know they've had it at the store. Red Barrel's had it at the store for a few weeks, and it's been selling pretty good. But if you're interested in bottle, let us know. Get us the information. We'll get you the information and get it going. There'll be 2 other bottles coming out of them eventually. We were kind of hoping they were.
It's kind of up to the distributor at this point.
Distribution and everything else. I know that one of them needed a new label from the TTB, so that might be slowing it down. but the 2 grain.
Yeah,
2 grain product.
like T is saying, that is a great bottle. It isn't overly finished in Amberana. I asked the guy, one of the distillers there, when we were picking that, and I'm like, "Hey, can you tell me how long that you had Amberana in it?" And he's like, "I can't tell you. It's kind of proprietary." I can guarantee you, it wasn't very long.
Yeah, it was. That was kind of one of the surprises that we had because I think me and Will have had the profile before. We could taste it a little bit, but it accented the rye that they were using as the base grain for it. So that helped out
Hey,
a lot.
hey, T. I know fall is coming, but if we don't get some rain, we might not ever be able to have a campfire. I know you guys have got more rain over in East Arkansas than most of the state, but it is dry, and every day in the state of Arkansas, 2 or 3 more counties go under a burn ban. I know county I live in just went under a burn ban today. So hopefully we will have a campfire in the fall, but we just don't know when.
Well, we get outside of this El Nino thing.
Will says he's hated every Amberana he's tried until he tried this one. Uh, I was the oddball out on this one. I picked it number 2 out of all the others that we were picking from. So never know. Like I said, that's the reason why we do what we do. Have extra ones,
Yeah,
extra pours for extra special people like me.
yeah, and thinking about also wanted to say a little quick prayer out there for all of our folks up in Indiana because they've been dealing with some weather the last few days, especially Western Indiana.
They could have sent some of that rain our way instead of keeping it up there.
Yeah, they held all. They took all 16 inches of themselves, and I'm sure they didn't want it all because there was parts of the interstate flooded out. There were spots in Indiana that have never seen that much rain. So
It just seems like with this weather the last several years, it's like feast or famine. You
oh yeah,
either you either get nothing or you get way too much. Like spread the love around a little bit.
well it's getting it kind of gets stuck at the Missouri border and won't come down in here to Arkansas. So we're gonna have to work on that. Get the. You know what? We probably need to talk to the governor. We need
Here's
to
an
talk to.
here's an interesting question.
Oh, okay.
Kevin wants to know, why did you guys pick that barrel? We want to go down that rabbit hole tonight, Roger?
Why did we pick the barrel? Which barrel is he talking about?
I'm assuming he's talking about the hard truth.
Well, there was a gentleman that was as part of our little group that tasted it and immediately fell in love with it, and he campaigned like you never want to believe, as far as the flavor profile that he got and the things that he got out of that bottle and the barrel, and he really enjoyed it. And um, that was kind of one of those things where you
Look,
look back at it and say, you know,
I'll say it as kosher as I can. That actually wasn't Roger, myself, and Will's number 1 pick. Actually, I believe the second barrel was our number 1 pick, but that is why there's 3 barrels picked that day. So we went in there to do a 1 barrel pick, and we ended up doing 3 barrel picks. So it happens sometimes, and it did, and we're proud to you know put it out there for everybody. I don't know about the 3rd pick. That's a half barrel. I don't know how much of that we're going to actually see, but
yeah,
like
I don't
like
know.
we were saying earlier, that 3rd barrel pick, everybody was pretty much 3 sheets in the wind, but we still picked
Except
the
for
best,
Will.
except for
Will
Will. Will wasn't.
Will
No.
was a responsible adult that evening, and
See, Will put it out here. Large pick team and the store owner that was willing to pick multiple barrels. Yeah, Alex from Red Barrel says we're buying the Amberana one, and we're going to pick the next barrel, which we did, and then come to find out after that we picked another barrel. So I like a guy like Alex who's not afraid to say, "I'm going to spend Grandpa's money today." And if you know, you know. I don't think Alex is on right now, so I'm not making fun of Alex. I'm making fun with Alex.
Yeah, because Mark knows.
Yeah.
He ain't afraid to go out there on the limb a little bit, and it hasn't hurt him so far. So
No, they do a lot of barrel picks. I'm willing to bet that Alex does more barrel picks than Buster's does. There in Memphis.
it's pretty close.
Yeah, and I know he damn well does more barrel picks than anybody in Arkansas.
Oh yeah,
Because
we're only given so many of them. But Mooresville, Indiana, if you're up near there, and it's a suburb, well, somewhat of a suburb of Indianapolis, but go to Mooresville, Indiana, and go to Red Barrel Liquors. It'd be a fun store as far as your trips and treks, because I know we got a lot of people that'll head up later in the year going to Michigan or doing places like that for a vacation. I know a lot of the kids are going back to school, but then there's a lot of people that go on vacation after the kids are back in school.
No, that's when you can have fun, when you don't have to deal with kids.
Exactly.
Well, this weekend, I know, Roger, you were talking about you've got family fest, as you called it. Is that right?
Family
fest?
day. Family
day. So me and the wife and Steve and his wife, we're heading to Kansas City in the morning. Actually, Leavenworth, Kansas. We're gonna do a little hunting bourbon. We're gonna do some eating. We're gonna do some drinking, speakeasy, and we're going to go to Ben Holiday, see what they have to do. Then I'm gonna pick up on Sunday, like I said, about 1,200 pounds of corn and bring it back to Arkansas. So we're gonna be busy this weekend.
Well, you're going to Leavenworth. You better keep on the straight and narrow, because I'm going to let you know. Just south of Leavenworth is a little town called Lansing, Kansas, and there's a male and a female prison, and then there's a county jail there. And then you go into Leavenworth, and they have a federal prison and the military prisons right there in Leavenworth. So you guys keep yourself straight and narrow.
Well, we're going to try not to. We're not going to try to bring too many shenanigans to Kansas. So let's see. We're going to hit how many states this weekend? Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas. Only 3 states, but I think it'll be a fun trip.
Yeah, I did 7 last weekend. So
yeah, you had a long trip.
A long trek. Got to go through a couple of places. If you're ever in Chattanooga, Tennessee, there is a store there in Chattanooga. I'll give them a shout out, called Imbide, IMBIDE Liquor, and they've got a beautiful spot. Another place that does a lot of barrel picks. They had a barrel pick of the Bardstown Weeded. It's right there, Black Label, 127.4 proof. Not many of those I've seen out there in the market yet, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's going to kind of be my little liaison in between getting WLW. It's got that weeded profile that I like. It's really good. That's why I like Bardstown and Green River. They've got a profile I tend to like.
You'd even be willing to try the pineapple, huh?
I'll try the pineapple if I'm going to get the chance to. I don't know that I will, because I think you're the next one to go up that way, and with your beautiful bride.
I don't think we're going to go up in October. I've got a feeling that it will not be on the shelves up there.
No, I think it'll be gone by that point.
I think you're probably right. All right, folks. Hey, it was good to be on here tonight. I got to learn a lot about whiskey making there with Peter. Corn, all these things that I've never heard of. And I think I'm somewhat well spoken when it comes to making whiskey and whatnot. But all these different grains he was throwing out there, that was pretty cool little interview.
Yeah. I'd like to just remind everybody, like, comment, subscribe. If you've got friends and neighbors that haven't subscribed, get them out there, put them out there, get them to subscribe, like the post.
Hype it tomorrow.
Hype it tomorrow. If you get a chance, go out and jump out and hype it. We'll put some information on the Facebook page about that. We really appreciate everybody's help with that. The whole idea is we're just trying to push it out there a little bit. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers like everybody else, and 5,000 watch hours, which we're really close to. So,
most of all, we just like to have a good community of people that, like-minded community, get together, have good times. And that's the thing why we're trying to push this whole Facebook page too. Just within the last 2 weeks, we've went from me, Will, Roger, and Martin Cox posting to now we're getting some of these comments. We may get 15 different people on here that's interacting, and that's good because that just builds, the camaraderie between all of us. And you never know when the Bourbon Genie's going to show up over there.
Oh, no.
So you need to tune in. All right, Roger, it's good to talk to you tonight. You have a good weekend. Folks, have a good weekend. Be safe. Be responsible when it comes to drinking, especially driving. Look, Ubers are in every town now, so it's easy to get an Uber. You don't want to F your life up with over $10,000 if you get a DWI, whatever. Mess your job up, maybe mess your relationship up. It's just not worth it. Sit at home, get online with us, and drink online if you need to. Don't go out there bar hopping and be frivolous with your. I say that, and I'll be out there doing that. No, but I won't. Anyway, folks, tune in next Thursday night when we do have Stephen Fonte, and we'll have Will back. And it's going to be all that Will can do to keep his mouth shut about catfish assholes. So
yes, he will be.
We should have had him on this week when Will wasn't here, so we didn't have to worry about it. Anyway, folks, good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for supporting us. And thanks for being a bourbon legend. Good night, everybody.
Cheers.
Pour one more for the stories we've told of barrels and bottles and whiskey gold. From grain to glass, through fire and flame, every pour's got a legend's name.